Hello, welcome to another unboxing. This time it's the ZOTAC Trinity 4070 Ti RTX 12 gig. This is the base model. Now I'm sort of doing this, sorry there's a bit of sheen on here but it's a shiny box. I'm doing this because I've noticed that all of the reviews that came out yesterday weren't for this model. They were for the 4070 Ti, but they were all the overclock version, and this is the standard one. And one of the ZOTAC ones I was looking at on one of the channels, it was much bigger as well. It's got different lights and everything. Because this ZOTAC one, there's this one, there's the overclock one, and I think it's called the Aero, the other one, and it's bigger. It looks like the 4080. And it's got a nice sort of holographic sheen, and I naively thought that they all looked like that. But I'm glad to get this. I need a new graphics card, so I've plumbed for this one, the cheapest one I can get in this range. So this is just a quick video, unboxing, measuring, just showing you what you get. So let's have a look. Yep. Nice big fans on this one. That was one of the reasons for going for the ZOTAC. Well, in fact, there were only two. This is in the UK, I am. So there were only two that were available that weren't the overclock ones. So there were only two that were available for $799 when I checked yesterday. It was this one and it was the Asus TUF. That was the only two there was available. And the Asus TUF sold out pretty quickly, and then this one sold out a bit later on in the day. Whether or not it's been replenished today, I don't know. But I had to get a graphics card. I've been waiting since December. I waited for the AMD stuff to come out, and I was waiting to see how they did. And it didn't have I need three display ports. I've got two 4K monitors, and I've got me virtual reality. And I like them all plugged in and stay flapping around with plugging and unplugging. I noticed the AMD cards didn't have three. And these all have three display ports on them. Yes, my old card, I have got a Aorus 1080 Ti Extreme, which I've had for many years, and I think it's had it. Even just putting new drivers in it crashes. And if I play something, I don't play many games. I play like Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, those sort of things. And I've only got a 60 hertz 4K screen, but it keeps crashing and all the fans spin up. I took it to pieces, and this is something to think about if you're keeping a graphic. Like for me, I'll keep this one for a very long time now. I won't be buying anything when the next thing comes out. It's just this would do, and it would do as long as it lasts. And the only reason I'm replacing the other one is because it has failed. At least I hope it's the graphics card. Oh, what's this? Love Gaming, Power the Win. Yeah, so I took my old graphics card to pieces, and the tin, you know, the thermal paste had completely come off the GPU. There was none on it at all, and it had like gone hard all around it. So for some time it hadn't had any paste on it, but it was still, temperatures were okay. I mean, it hadn't gone off the scale. It was going about 80 degrees on 100%. And after I re-timmed it, it was still going the same. So I just downloaded that MSI Afterburner and set it to not go above 70 to try and protect it a bit, but it's still crashing. You don't know when it goes. I can load Planet Coaster up and it would go for an hour, and then just suddenly you do one movement and it'll just freeze now, and then it'll just go black. This is rather a nice sticker. Decide where I'm going to put that. Holographic, rather nice. This sticker is not a sticker. It's a cardboard cutout that you bend around. I mean, that's just great, isn't it? Why can't you have a sticker? Or look other things I've had. You get like Notch, you get a lovely metal badge, or you get a sticker or a shield, something like that. But with an £800 graphics card, you get a piece of card. Ace. Power of the win. Right, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's what all that is. Also, I wanted the 4080, let's be honest, but I'm not paying 1,200 for the Founders. That's about the cheapest, I think. I had to wait and wait, and then this came out at $799. So I think I was lucky to get it for $799, but I had to pay over £10 postage. But it was next day postage. Right, so what have we got here? Oh, an anti-sag bracket, which is metal, and it's got nice non-slip rubbers on there. That's okay. Yeah, that's quite sturdy. Yeah. Okay. And this one has got, a bit annoyingly, it's got this horrible connector thing. I really don't like this. And why they put it right in the middle of the card as well, in the connector. Right where it's probably the hottest, you know, just above the GPU, they put this. But at least in this case, it's not as much power as the 4080, which obviously takes 4 of these. But why didn't they just put these two in the card at the top, like so many other people do? And I mean, this is just ugly, isn't it? And no matter what you do, it's not long enough, is it? That's the problem. If it was a little bit longer, you could hide it. You could bring it probably down into the power supply through the front. It's not long enough, is it? It's going to be in the box visible, so I might have to get some sort of replacement for that. Looks like it's fully populated. I mean, you never know how it's wired inside, but it looks like the connections on it all, so there we are. And now to the business. Oh, here we are. Yeah, nice big fans. It's like the biggest you could possibly get, really. Nearly the same size as the card itself. That was one reason there. And then there's the second reason for me is 3 display ports, 1 HDMI. That's what I need. I need all 3. Oh, nice. It's all metal, by the way, this. Sorry, this is plastic. But this is like, it feels, actually, I'll tell you what, if you put that in the PC, it's solid enough that to support it. And it's nowhere near as big as some of the other cards. It's certainly, oh, it feels well made. That's solid. That's absolutely solid. Yeah, I mean, it's right in the middle, probably where it's the hottest. GPU's there somewhere, isn't it? Actually, oh no, quite often you have it, you can see it. That's all cooling there, so that's the card, I think. So it's probably about there. Oh no, it's offset slightly. Okay. Well, let's hope this lasts at least 5 years, if not 10 years, you know. Because for me, I really just want it for rendering videos. And of course, this will be the first video that I give it a render on my very old CS6. I still use the original Adobe CS6. So I need the CUDA cores for rendering and messing around with photos and videos and stuff like that, and playing the occasional game. Like I said, I'm more of a Planet Coaster. I bought a VR headset, but I don't use it very much. I mean, it's okay, it's a bit of a novelty really. No Limits Coaster is quite good. There's a few others that are quite good fun. Well, I must say that it looks like a really nice, solidly built card. Yeah, this is plastic, this shroud here. And this is the difference. So on this standard one, I think this just lights up green here. Well, it's probably RGB, isn't it? In fact, I think on one of these, you've got a RGB plug you can plug into your motherboard. I can't see it here, though. It might not be on the base model, who knows. But yeah, on this one, it's just this that lights up. And you see, you've got your power supply cable, which you may do it that way, or may bend it to go back in the case. Goes right in the way of your lights. It'd be so much nicer if that was there. at the back. There. Have the 2 plugs there. Mind you, some would say it'd be better here. It'd be better anywhere than there. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so this is just the first look at my replacement from. I bet I'm going to notice quite a difference from a 1080 Ti. But the stupid prices of these. I mean, this should not be. What was it? $799. It shouldn't be this. It should be about £200 cheaper. But what can you do? So this is the cheapest of the 40 series, and seeing as the 30 cards are still going. I mean, I looked at a 3090 Ti, which apparently this sort of rivals, but the 3090 is better. It's just got more RAM for video editing and stuff like that, so it would have been a better card. It's still 1,200 or something. And even like the 3080s, I saw one 3080 which was not a palette, it was another one, sort of the cheap and cheerful end, and that was 720. And I thought, well, for, you know, £80 more, I could get a lot more performance. And there weren't any other cheap ones. If you go out the 12 gig, there didn't seem to be any of the 3080. And the 3080 Ti again is around the 1,000 mark. I mean, why would you buy that? Why would you buy that when this has just come out? Mind you, I got this on the day it came out, and like I said, towards the evening, they seem to have sold out. This one didn't sell out as quickly as the Asus TUF though. I rather like this one. I like the big fans. And they're going to be the same sort of performance, maybe different cooling. I might be able to tweak it a bit with MSI. Okay, let's give you some measurements, because of course with this one, I can just put it back into my standard case. I haven't got to worry about buying a new case and then trying to find out if the new case will take it, because some of these cards are massive now. This one doesn't look much bigger than my 1080 Ti, so that's quite a big card. Seems to only be 2 slots here. One thing to note, by the way, is this support. You see this metal's bent round here, so it gives it, so this is firmly onto the whole card. It's not just holding it here. It's actually bent over and holding it on both ends, and it feels quite solid. I don't think you'd need worry too much about having the card support, but I will use it. I've got a little one that screws up and down that I bought on Amazon. I'll have to decide which one I use. I'll probably finish this video off later on today when I fitted all this in the computer. It's going to be quite a job, so I'm going to have to take a few bits, move around I think, to get it look nice. But hopefully by this evening I'll have it all sorted out, and I'll just do a little video just so you can see the light. But I thought, so I saw the reviews, you know, the holographic strip, and it seems to be a lot bigger as well, by the way. I thought they were all like that. Didn't realise when I ordered it that the $799 or £800 was actually a smaller and non-overclock version. So all of these scores they're giving it are on a overclocked, but it's only lightly overclocked by the look of things. Anyway, so from the very end of here, let's do the actual metal board itself. So from the end of here, let's get that dead right, to there, 30, I'd say that's at least 31 centimetres. It goes off slightly, so yeah, I'd say to be sure 31 centimetres length. And does that overhang? No, I think it does overhang slightly. I think to be safe I would go, no, I'd say about 31 centimetres in length, something like that. Oops, something's fallen out. Oh, that's the no, that's the display port thing. It'll be coming out soon anyway. And thickness, let's see, about 5, well actually where's it rise the most? Yeah, just under 5 centimetres. Something like that. Oh, looks nicely built. But I mean, it is 800 quid. I mean, for me, that's a absolute. I mean, not so long ago, you buy a whole computer for that. Now it's just the graphics card. I suppose it's a performance card, isn't it? It's still at the higher end, I guess. Not the top end, but still at the higher end. And I thought that that was an LED. on the pictures, you know, you see the pictures online, I thought that that was an RGB LED, and it's not. So I think the only lights on this is just this front bit here. I hope this lights up. I think that's a cable for RGB, or maybe one of these. Perhaps they're fans. I hope it lights up a little bit, it gets something. So I've got a glass panel. So this is part of the way through changing things over. I've taken out the space where the old graphics card was. And I've now put two, this isn't the same cable here. This is two separate runs going to the, I've got an 850 watt Corsair power supply. And these have another one coming off, and what you're not meant to do is use the daisy chain. You're meant to use the two separates going to two separate plugs in your power supply. But it's still awkward. I mean, you know, I've managed to feed it so it comes up here, but it's still going to be a bit of a mess. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able. I'm going to do it like this first and see if I can tuck these into this hole here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with it or not. Anyway, size-wise, so this is the new one that we've just been talking about, which is the base model. And here it is. There's my 1080 Ti. So in fact, my 1080 Ti is a bit bigger, thicker, but this one's just slightly longer. That's all, just slightly longer. Actually quite a lot smaller. You'd have thought with all these monster cards coming out at the moment, you'd think, oh well, it's bound to be bigger, isn't it? It's not. It's not got as much height or width. It's just a little bit longer. And I think the fans are around the same sort of size, I think. Roughly, yeah, they're about the same size. It's been a great card, you know. Such a shame. I guess everything has its life. Anyway, just what you might want to see that when I'm halfway through my build. Okay, so it's installed. I must say it's lighter than my old card, so probably doesn't need the support. I just about managed to, well, route them as neat as you can. It'd be nicer to have the one cable, wouldn't it? But there we go. It's a bit awkward. It's a pity they can't make these a bit longer, isn't it? Give you like, you know, at least twice that length, if not a bit more, so you can. Never mind. I don't think it needs the support bracket, to be honest, but a word of caution, I tried my little one here, and if I just put that there, look, support bracket, that fan, don't know if you can hear it, no, it doesn't move. It moves the entire plastic shroud and it stops that fan from working. And likewise, if you try this, I tried it this way, upside down, you know, so it's like holding it more. I've tried it this way to there, which just looks horrendous, doesn't it? Having that there. I tried it on the side, and no matter where I put it, as soon as it gives some support, that fan catches. So this shroud moves. So there must be a place, probably somewhere. Can't see it myself. Anyway, that's something to note if you are, you know, going to use the support bracket. Check your fans before you close the case up. Make sure that they can move freely. I'm not going to use it. It's well supported. It's about half the weight of this thing. Mind you, I suppose this was the top of the range card. So I mean, other than a Titan. So say this is the equivalent of a 4080 in the range. Well, it's a 1080, isn't it? 1080 Ti. But yeah, it doesn't look as nice, does it? I mean, it's nice and neat and what have you, but it doesn't have the full spaceship RGB that the other one has. But I noticed the 4070 Ti overclocks Aero, the top one's nearly £1,000. I mean, why would you pay that? You just buy a 4080, pay £200 more and have a 4080. Anyway, so that's as neat as it's going to be. No support bracket. I mean, there is a bit of movement there, but it's a reinforced. It's MSI carbon black motherboard, and like I say, it's got a nice bit of metal, and the way it bends around helping it there. So I think it's going to be okay. I don't move the case around very much. Obviously, if you're transporting it, you'd want to stuff something in or put it on its side. But see, I mean, these are also delicate. You know, the it's not Chromax, Noctua cooler You know, that's a lot of stuff sticking out as well. So if I transported the PC, I'd just put it on its side on the seat. So anyway, so that's thoughts going along. So next one will be with it running, hopefully all right. See how we get on. It's actually quite a nice, bright display there. ZOTAC Gaming. It's a bit brighter than I expected. So it's not all bad. And that's it. It's just that on the front. Have a close up there. There we go. Very quiet. Not much fan noise at all. And at the moment, it is just doing the overclocking on the afterburner. Look at them speeds. And, you know, doing it in chunks. So when I first started it up, even though I had a NVIDIA card in 1080 with a driver, it didn't recognize the driver, and it just went, luckily, so I think the chip does Windows anyway, does display, I mean. I had a display on one display, managed to download the new driver, and today there was a new one, and on it said support for 4070 Ti. So if you can, it probably will let you download it without checking, won't it? I'd try and download that driver first and have that ready. But apart from that, it was all fine, because what was happening with the other card was I'd download the driver and it would just go crash halfway through. It would take the old driver off, halfway through putting the new one in, it would crash, and it caused no end of problems trying to get a new driver in. I had to go into safe mode and try all sorts of things. So I guess it was my old card. It seems very stable now. I just put a YouTube video on in 4K and had a look. It looks quite nice and fluid. Haven't tried any games or anything yet, but so far so good. And it's quite a neat and tidy looking card. So put that light on just so get a bit of background there. Yep. So it is under load at the moment, as you can see on there, but very quiet, very, very quiet. And not using up that much electric compared to, say, like a 3090 Ti or something. Much less electric wattage. So yeah, pretty pleased so far. Would I recommend you getting it? I still think that they're very expensive. I had to get a new card. I've been waiting months. I've had no end of problems. I haven't been able to edit any videos. And if I do play a game, it was just touch and go wherever how stable it was. It would just crash for no reason. I'd get 10 minutes or an hour or who knows. So I had to get a new card. Mine was broke. And I was going to go for like a 3080, which was about the same price, about £700-800. You can get a real cheap one for about £720. And that's without any RGB at all. And better to get the next generation. It seems to it's certainly outperforming a 3080. So yeah, quite pleased. Nice new setup. Looking forward to editing this video will be the first thing I do. So there we are. 4070 Ti. I'm pleased with it, but maybe they're getting a bit pricey. So if you don't need a card, I'd hang on and send NVIDIA the message that all the cards are too expensive. I mean, if this comes down £200, say, it'd be fantastic. But, you know, £800, and that's only for the base model, if you can get one. Because it seems, I had a look on a few sites today, and no one's got the base model now. They've all sold out. And all they've got is the overclocked ones, which I can probably overclock myself here anyway, depending on the silicon lottery. And so they're only lightly overclocked anyway. Look at the speed this one's going at the moment. Where are we there? 2805 megahertz. 10,501 megahertz on the memory, and that's the slow memory on this one. So I'm just letting it do its thing for the moment. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again next time.